Hey, I'm Rob Patz.
I'm Jason Webb. This is Thrive with Rob and Jason, where we talk
Yes,
about business, faith, just thriving in life, right, Rob?
that's it. And it's that time of year, Jason,
Mhm.
where summer vacation is here. And
Yes.
I don't know how you feel about summer vacation. I want to preface all of what I'm about to say with the fact that my family does listen to the show and watch it. So I'm going to say this in the best possible way. I didn't do family vacations very much with my family after I was about 22, 23. I did some, maybe one a year
Mhm.
here and there, but I wasn't. But my family big into family vacation. Kristen's family, they do it. They plan it. This is like the end all. We go at it. This is exciting and seriously coming up soon. What's your feelings? Vacation
Oh,
excitement level?
excitement level is high for vacations. Growing up, our family vacations every year, we would go camping, we go to the lake, we did that type of stuff. And it was just something that I always looked forward to. And we do have a few trips planned this year. We're taking our little family up to South Dakota to go check out Mount Rushmore, do a little road trip with the family just to go see those things. We're doing that here, here this summer, and it's super excited. But I know something that we all, me and you share an affinity for, food.
Well, see, they let me plan the food.
Oh, that's
And
amazing. See?
that's super fun because like we went to Galveston last year, which by the way,
Mhm.
no shade. If you're watching us from Galveston, I'm glad for you. I wouldn't want to live there. Don't ever really want to go back. It's hot. And that was all there was. I was hot and I was fat and I didn't like any part of being there. It was a no win for me. But I will tell you, they let me pick out the food, amazing food in Galveston. Are you going to go to Wall Drug while you're up there?
Oh yeah, you told me about this. Yeah, I got to go check it
Yeah.
out.
You
Yeah.
got to go to Wall Drug. I interviewed not the original owner, but his son, and we did it for television for a network that I still am under some agreement with, so I can't say anything. And it was a lot of fun, and we had a great time interviewing him and being a chance to really get you'll love Wall Drug, that whole area. I
I can't wait
loved.
to check it out, Rob. Just food is a huge thing. That's one thing that we realized as we were going on our camping trips and growing up going to lake, we ate like kings. Like we brought steak and lobster and all to go camping.
Oh yeah.
It
Well, see,
was
you were a
awesome.
lot richer, obviously, than we were. We had
I don't know about that.
spaghettios. So we had spaghettios. So that was when we had an RV. But hey, listen, tell everybody a little bit about
Yeah.
our guest today.
Yeah, our guest today is a gentleman that, man, the relationship that we've built with him and seeing what he's done, I can't wait to talk to him about what he does. If you all have heard of Simon Sinek's TED Talk, you know why. It's the most heard or most watched TED Talk of all time. Well, today's guest has a lot to do with that. Gary Sanchez. Gary Sanchez has created a company called the Why Institute, and I'll let him explain all of that. But what it does is been transformative to me. I know Rob's went through it. It's incredible. Gary, man, it's great having you on the show.
Great to be here, Jason. Great to be here, Rob. Thanks. I got you guys are all talking about vacation. All I can think about is vacation.
Oh, see, we were thinking about the food more so than the vacation.
Oh, well, that too. So
Yes,
I'm going to
yes.
be vacationing up near your area,
Oh,
up near
fantastic.
Colorado, up in Golden, Colorado.
That's not very far from me at all. We might have to hit some lunch. See again, talk about food.
We can talk more about food. That's exactly
Yes.
right.
Well, tell us about the Y Institute and what you did with this and how this all built out. Man, I love it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So, I was a dentist for 32 years. And when I graduated from dental school back in 1988, I can't even believe it's that long ago, the advice that I was given by the gurus of that time was build a great product and people will come. That's right. So a lot of your audience has probably heard that. Go out and do the best job you can, and people will
Hmm.
naturally and mysteriously find their way to you. And so I spent 20 years doing that, reaching the highest level you could go to in dentistry, building a beautiful practice, hiring a great team, buying all the technology. And I still blended in with everybody else who said, yeah, I'm a dentist too. Right.
Hmm.
And that just drove me crazy. My practice wasn't growing like I thought it would. And I just was very, very frustrated at that point. And that's when I saw Simon Sinek's TED Talk. It was all
Hmm.
about start with why, right? When you know your why, what you do has more impact. he talked about the golden circle concept, the why, how, and what. And so I said, that is what I'm missing, Jason. I have a great what, but I don't know my why. And so I became obsessed with discovering my why, and I couldn't figure it out myself. So I called Simon and I said, hey, I need you to help me discover my why. And so your why is why you do what you do everywhere you go, right? Why you operate the way you operate. And many people think it's their kids or their business or something like that. But really, those are short-term motivations for doing things the way they're doing it. What we're talking about is something even more profound. So I called Simon. He and I spent about 8 months together going back through my life looking for clues. And when I finally figured out my why, which is to find a better way and share it, that's when my life started to make sense to me. Find a better way and share it. I have a lot of patents and products and inventions that are better ways of doing things. And then I applied that to my practice and stopped talking about what we do. And we started talking about why we do what we do. And that's when my practice really took off. And as my practice took off, I started getting calls from other people that wanted me to help them do the same thing. And so I ended up developing a process for that. I did it for thousands of people for free. And I started to notice patterns and trends and similarities. And that's when I developed the software that you took, and which is what you're talking about. So it was a very long answer to the question of what is this why thing? But
no, that's okay. Your why is a better way. That's my why as well. But just once you figure that out, what really was transformative to me is, there's been so many people that have watched that episode of TED Talk, and so everybody knows, about the why, but nobody knows exactly what their own why is and how to get into that. And what you've been able to do within your system in transforming that process and figuring that out into about an 8-minute process instead of a months-long process. And it's just, once people see that, the people that we've been able to bring this in front of, it has been truly transformative. And it's like, it's that aha moment, that bulb clicking on in their head that says, this is exactly right. This is me. And so it's been really cool to see the people that I've talked to on it. And you've done this for years, right?
Yes. And we've helped over 360,000 people discover their why. And like you said, Jason, we took it even further. They not only know their why, but their how and their what. So the software finds your why, your how, and your what, and builds your personal message for you. And it takes about 8 minutes.
That is incredible.
So, just like you said, we kind of kid about this a lot. Over 100 million people have seen Simon Sinek's TED Talk, but maybe only 100 people were ever able to figure out what their why is.
Yeah.
Right. So that leaves quite a few others that don't know it, but are looking for it. So if you're one of them, then our software will help get you there in 8 minutes.
Yep. And it was shocking. I have to tell you, because I was a little cynical, Gary. I have to tell you, I have to be very, very honest with you. When Jason told me about this and then you sent me the link to take it, I was like, how is he going to find out my why in 8 minutes when I am as old as I am, which will remain a mystery unless you Google me. But let's just put it this way. I was still in high school when Gary graduated. So I'm a little even younger than he is, but yet a lot older than Jason. So, I mean, it doesn't make me feel really good. But it was scary. And I will tell you this, I took it and then we were meeting together. You and Jason and I met, like, it was probably a couple hours later. And I read my stuff and went, where did this guy, it's almost like you do research, because I was like, this is crazy of what it really did. And I will tell you, since I've taken it, it's impacted the way I think about business.
Completely. Yeah, completely. And, one of the gentlemen that was on the call with us as well that we were talking about, he actually carries his why with him everywhere he goes. Yep. Because it impacted everything. It's not just business, but life. And, talk about that, because to me, it's all encompassing.
Yeah. So if you're listening or watching and you're trying to figure out your direction, your passion, your purpose, when you start with your why, we call it your why operating system, YOS. That's your why, how, and what. So when you start with your YOS, if what you choose to do with your life is in line with that, you're going to love what you do. So Jason, can we use you as an example?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so Jason's why, like he mentioned, is to find a better way and share it. How he does that is by solving complex and challenging problems. And then ultimately what he brings is a way to contribute, add value, have an impact in other people's lives. So his why is better way, his how is make sense, and his what is contribute. So what we know, Jason, right on track for you, right? So if your listeners know you well, they know that's what you do everywhere you go.
Yes.
So people with a why a better way, like both of us, go to bed thinking about a better way and wake up thinking about a better way. And we didn't choose it. We can't turn it off. And we often irritate other people, right? Because
yes, we do.
We're rarely satisfied, right? We're always trying to make things better.
Yep.
So if Jason was trying to figure out what to do with his life, and what he chooses to do allows him to find better ways by solving problems and helping other people have a bigger impact. Well, how would you feel about that, Jason?
Oh man, that's everything. I'm fully fulfilled. I'm doing what I'm called to do. Like that's completely.
You're in your lane. And it's the same for everybody. It's the same for Rob. I mean, if he lives his why, how, and what, he's going to love what he does. He will have passion for what he does. And passion is the fuel that gives you the energy to pursue your dreams. Without passion, you give up. With passion, you persevere. So put someone in line with their why, how, and what. Maybe this is your kid. Maybe this is your spouse. Maybe this is somebody important in your life. Maybe this is a coworker who's trying to figure out what they should do. And maybe it's somebody who's retiring. And what do I want to do with the rest of my life? If they know their YOS, those kinds of decisions become very, very easy.
Yeah.
Hey, Gary, do you have mine?
Yes, I got it right here.
Okay, I want him to just tell mine and see, because a lot of people that are watching and listening will know me are going to laugh at this one. So hit it.
Yeah. So Rob's why is to contribute to a greater cause, right? He wants to help. He uses his time, his money, his energy, his connections to push other people forward, which he's doing right now. How he does that is by finding better ways. He's always on the lookout for what's better, what's going to work, what's going to improve this. Ultimately, though, what he brings is a trusting relationship where other people can count on him. He wants to be that trusted source. He wants to be the one that you look to when you want the truth, when you want an answer that's going to be real. And that's why you would go to Rob. How does that feel to you?
It's dead on. That was what was so scary, because that is exactly the way we base my company. And Jason can tell you this now that he works for me, is that we base on how we help others. The finances will always come. And at my age, I've learned that the money always comes. You shouldn't chase the money. You should chase good relationships. And I believe totally in that being a whole part of the economic landscape that we don't talk about in business, is how friendships and relationships and helping others. It's almost the old Zig Ziglar thing. How can I help you get to what you need so then I get what I need? And I've lived that life. First time I heard Zig Ziglar, I was like 7 years old. My dad took me, and that really stuck with me. So, but no, I wanted those friends of mine who actually watch the show, which are few, but I wanted them to hear it. And I will exit stage right again and let you guys talk.
No, you're fine, Rob. I love it, man, because it is you like spot on.
Let me add to it, Jason, for a second. When you meet somebody for the first time, let's just say you don't know either Jason or myself, and you don't know me yet. What we all do is look at the hairstyle, or look at the jewelry or facial hair, or what they're wearing, or what's in the background, and you create a narrative around what you think you see. And then that's who they are to you, and that's how you treat them. But it's typically not real. And when you know somebody's why, how, and what, their YOS, it cuts through all the stuff that you see and brings forward what's really there. So I know now that Jason is always looking for a better way. He's wanting to solve the problem, and he's wanting to help you have a bigger impact. And I also know that's the language that Jason speaks. If I had an idea that I wanted to propose to Jason, I better show him how it's better. I better show him how it makes sense, and I better show him how it's going to help him have a bigger impact, or he's not going to want it. If I show him that, then you're all in, right?
It's all going to work. Oh yeah. And that's one thing that I talked to you about on this is, in having discussions like in business, I would want every one of my potential clients, my clients, everybody to take this, because then I know how to communicate better with them to really reach deep into them and figure out why we're doing all this. And so one really cool story that I remember in one of our first discussions on this and going through this is you actually had your daughter's boyfriends or so take this, right? Or your daughters take this. Tell me
Yes.
about that. 'Cause that was really, I was like, man,
Well,
I should do this.
a couple stories. So I have two daughters.
Yeah.
One of them went through high school and college not knowing her why, how, and what. And the other one went through very clear on her why, how, and what. And they had totally different paths. The one who wasn't clear, struggled, took her 6 years to finish college, took a year off, didn't know what she wanted to do, changed her majors multiple times. And the other one was very clear, direct through, knew her major right away, got in the school she wanted to go to, direct path to what she wants to do. And now, she's been off and running ever since. And so when you help your children find their passion at a younger age, their runway is even longer, right? Because they can do that right away. But when it comes to dating, they won't date a boy unless they know their YOS, because
that's incredible.
Very quickly. Do they want to get involved with this person? It doesn't mean they're good or bad. It just means, is this the life I want to live? Is this the person I want to spend time with? Because now I know how they think. And if not, then you don't even go there. And if so, they're like, yeah, this sounds good. Let's go to the next step. And so that's really what they do.
That story stuck with me. And it was just like, man, that I would love to put everybody in my life to go through this, because it was that transfer, that directive. Like, us as guys, we have a hard time communicating as it is. If we can get this out to everybody, if I can get this to my wife, okay, now I understand. Okay, how do I need to discuss with her? How do I negotiate with her on things that I need?
Hey, I printed mine off and had my wife read it. So
you shouldn't have done that. Then now she knows how to get you. You see her up?
She's an attorney. Come on, she was working me already. So come on.
Well, on that note, and we had talked about this before. I don't meet with anybody in person, on Skype, unless I know their YOS, because what are we going to talk about? Right? It's going to be a bunch of surfacey stuff that isn't going to be very valuable to what we're actually on the call for.
Yeah.
And so it makes your time with people way more valuable, because you'll know exactly who you're talking to, but it's very predictable. So you also know what's not going well for them. Right? Because you and I both have the why a better way. Well, that means that we can kind of switch courses very quickly. We're, shiny penny type stuff, right? We're off on another.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a lot of different things going on, because it's very predictable with somebody with the why a better way. And Rob, yours is the why of contribute. So you want to say yes to many, many different things. You want to get involved in a lot of different things. It's very hard for you to say no. Like, no is not in your vocabulary. But that also makes it hard for you to get your own stuff done, right? There's things in your own personal world that you want to do, and you're not going to get to them very easily because you're saying yes to everybody else's stuff.
You've been hanging out with them a lot, haven't you?
So that's what's, if you're a coach, or if you're mentoring somebody, or if you're working with a team member, or you're in a leadership position, if you know this about the people around you, you'll know the great things they have and where you can help them find their passion, but you'll also know the struggles that they're going through, because they also come with struggles. So it's, again, once you see somebody's YOS, it strips away what you think you're looking at, and it brings forward what's really there. So the conversations, the connections that you can have are so much more powerful.
Yeah, it's like I tell you, but I can't reiterate just how transformational, how powerful this is. As soon as that came out, just from that first conversation we had a few months ago till now, every conversation that's in the back of my mind.
Yep.
What is their why? Because we all know how, what, when, why, all this stuff, but the why is really the transformative piece. So I just, in the program, how do people find you? We got the QR code right down there. They can check that out, right? And what does that really get them to?
Yeah. So that, if you write this down, podcast 50, If you use that code, it'll give you the YOS Discovery at half price. Now, it's not expensive to begin with. It's only $97. So you'll get it at 49, whatever that is, half of that. And so for your audience, just go to the yinstitute.com or use the QR code that's right there and just go to YOS Discovery and you can take it at half price. And so again, it'll take you probably 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very easy. You can, anybody from say age 10 on, maybe even 8 years old on, can take it and discover their YOS. And then, so here's a question I get a lot. Does discovering your YOS make your life easier? Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
It may.
Yeah.
It may not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if what you're doing currently with your life is not in line with what you should be doing, you can still do it, but you'll run out of energy.
Yeah.
And you might want to switch directions so that you're in alignment because you'll have unlimited energy.
Hey,
And
Gary, I think it would be neat too. And I wanted to bring this up is if there's a pastoral team that's watching or pastors that are watching, what a neat way to get your whole staff to take this and really understand and plug different people in.
Yes. When you talk about spiritual gifts or, what you really want to do is put people in a position where you know they're going to love.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big difference, Rob, between being able to do something and loving what you do.
Yeah,
Totally different, right?
Yeah, and I know a lot of people, that I've been able to coach or mentor or guide. They're always trying to figure out, okay, what does God have planned? What is my why? Like, it's not necessarily in that sense, but what's my purpose here? And the why just kind of gives a little bit of focused direction in that, and what I've found.
So great point, Jason. What it does, if we narrow it down to like, what does this thing do for me? It gives you the words to tell the world exactly who you are. And it gives you those words because you don't know your why. You don't know your purpose unless you can say it. If you can say it, then you know it, then you can use it, then it has an impact. Until you can say it, it's just a feeling, a sense. I think maybe, sort of, kind of, and that doesn't do you much good.
Yeah.
Once you know it. So, Jason, we put you in a place where you are always finding a better way to do things. You're going to.
I'm loving life. I'm loving life. Yeah.
It's your zone. It's your zone. We can help you find your zone in no time. So within a church, if you want to put your congregation or you put your people in places where you know they're going to love it and can't wait to get there, can't wait to participate, that's how you do it.
Well, fantastic. So how many whys are there?
So there's 9 different whys. We all have all of them. But one of them is more dominant than the rest, and that's the one that becomes your why. The second most like you is your how, and the third most like you is your what. And that's what the software actually does, is it finds your why. It actually goes all 9 levels deep, but what a client would get to see is their why, their how, and their what. And then it builds your message for you right then as well, so that you can say it right away. You just can read it.
Yeah, I love it. So, and let's talk about into some of the speaking engagements and different things that you've done, all over the country, the world. You've been nationally known speaker in this now, right?
Yeah. So now I speak at different, all kinds of different events, CEO events. I was just speaking at a group called the Elite Wealth Advisor Symposium. These are all, the top 100 wealth advisors, because what wealth advisors are now doing is using this with all of their clients. How much easier would it be to design a financial plan that somebody would enjoy doing if you knew their why, how, and what?
Oh, yeah, completely. How much easier?
What words would you use to talk about a house if you're a realtor, if you knew somebody's language that they speak? For you, Jason, we talk all about how it's better, how this makes sense, and how it's going to help you have a bigger impact. And so I would only present houses to you that I know would fit that.
So it's like a cheat code.
It is. You crack the code.
Yeah, exactly. And I was thinking about what you just said, And if you're a real estate person and you own the real estate office, you send this to everybody as a way to learn about them. And then you can assign the agent that fits them the best. You're going to have a better close rate. And I'm not a salesman by trade, but I'm a marketing guy. So there's a little of that inside me. And I look at it and I go, you could assign the right people, put everybody in the right place. Everybody succeeds.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody knows the golden rule, right? Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Yep.
Well, what are the odds that we want to be treated the same way? Right? Very low.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when you use the platinum rule. Treat others the way they want to be treated.
Yes.
How you do that is using the YOS discovery.
Yeah.
So that you know who you're speaking to, so you can use the words that they need to hear in order to feel heard. Talk to them in a way they want to be talked to. Present to them in a way they want to be presented to. Bring them products you know that they're going to love. And that's how, or put them in a place where you know they're going to love doing it. And that's how you create better connections even faster. That's how you move conversations forward faster. That's how you help people make a decision. The YOS is their decision-making process. For Jason, it's got to be better. It's got to make sense. It's got to have an impact.
Yes.
If it does, if it is, he wants it. If it is,
completely. You're going to get my attention. It's going to, we're going to go. And so what was that code one more time?
The podcast 50.
Yeah. Podcast
50.
50, number 50.
Number 50. And it'll give you the YOS discovery at half price. Our vision, just for those of you that are wondering, like, what is this all, where's it going? Our vision is to be the first step in self-awareness. Okay. So there's a lot. Let's say you're trying to figure out who you are. A lot of options out there. You could hire a coach. You could go hiking through the Himalayas. You could sit in a dark room for 11 days or whatever. Or you could look at assessments, Myers-Briggs, Colby, StrengthsFinder, DISC. Those are all really, really great. Those are how you take action, not why you take action. So
and the why is more powerful.
Why is the place to start. It's the first step. It's a start here button. And then you use your how to make it even better. They work great together.
Man. Every time I talk to you, Gary, I learn more and more. Like, you're much smarter than me. I'm just going to admit it. Okay.
I've just been obsessed with
Rob's
one
gonna
thing.
agree.
Yeah, it's not really saying a whole bunch, but hey, Gary, thanks so much. Podcast 50. Click on the QR code or go to the website. Hey, Gary, what's the website again?
WHYinstitute.com. Yinstitute.com. And look for the YOS discovery and use podcast 50.
That's awesome. Thank you, sir, so much for being with us.
Hey, Gary.
Hey, man, it was fun again.
Oh, and
we learned our why.
Yeah, Gary, man, the stuff that they're doing with the Y Institute, I love it. Like I keep telling you, it was that transformative to me. I highly, highly, highly recommend everybody take that. Everybody, not totally
agree.
Everybody.
Totally agree. Use podcast 50.